Dudunsparce. The perfect evolution to Dunsparce. Nothing extra, just even more Dunsparce, and I love it. A lot of the fan art Dunsparce evolutions over the years always bothered me. Don't get me wrong, the art is cool. We are so lucky in the Pokemon community to have such skilled artists, but they always kind of missed the point of Dunsparce. Dunsparce is based on a Tsuchinoko, a short snake with a much thicker midsection thought to be able to jump 3 feet in the air and have the ability to jump a second time to catch you by surprise. Kind of makes me think of why Dunsparce has his weird little wings. Tsuchinoko were described to have all sorts of weird movement and abilities, explaining Dunsparce's unique moveset. They're also extremely rare, with few sightings. Dunsparce in most games has a very low encounter rate. They're both just kind of weird hovering snake things, and there isn't really an obvious evolution for it, especially if you're trying to tie an evolution to Japanese cryptids and folklore, which Dunsparce is based on. So, Dudunsparce being just even more Dunsparce? Yes, please. I love Dudunsparce. One of the coolest things about Dudunsparce is that it has a rarer 3-segment form that only has a 1 in 100 chance of evolving. It's actually fairly hard to get by recent Pokemon standards. There are no raids, there are no outbreaks. You have to catch a Dunsparce, evolve it, and pray you get 1 in 100 odds. So what about a shiny? That seems like that would take forever. Really? It's pretty fast. You could make a normal shiny sandwich and run around Area 0, which has a ton of Dunsparce. It wouldn't even be as bad as full odds shiny hunting in older games. But there's a faster way. In fact, I can guarantee that I can get a shiny 3-segment Dunsparce in less than an hour from scratch. Don't believe me? This is how long it took. Now, we are talking the fastest here, not necessarily the easiest and not the most accessible. Let's take a second to talk about technical jargon around a Dunsparce. Every Pokemon has something called a Pokemon ID, or PID. This essentially is all the data the game uses to determine the nature, IVs, abilities, etc. Between this, your trainer ID, and your secret ID, it's a way to track a Pokemon's origin as they transfer between games. Okay, so why am I talking about this? This is how the game decides if a Dunsparce is going to have 2 or 3 segments. It's all about Dunsparce's PID. The PID is written in a type of code known as hexadecimal. I learned this on the internet. Hexadecimal is essentially a number system that uses 16 as the base number instead of 10, and replaces digits 11 through 15 with A through F. Extremely oversimplifying it, it's a convenient way to represent binary code when programming. I'm not a programmer. I don't know. Hexadecimal can be converted to the decimal system, and that's how the game decides if your Dunsparce is 2 or 3 segments. Any Dunsparce's PID who ends in 00 after conversion will always be a 3-segment Dudunsparce. Okay, enough of the technical jargon. Let's see how fast it can really be. Our journey starts in Pokemon Soul Silver. In Gens 3 and 4, most Dunsparce that have a hardy nature and have Serene Grace as their ability become a 3-segment Dudunsparce when evolved in Scarlet and Violet. So, it's simple. We boot up Soul Silver, walk into Dark Cave, catch a 1 in 8,192 chance shiny, get the 2% chance on the right ability and nature, on top of a 1% encounter rate, on the first try, and transfer it to Scarlet and Violet. And that's exactly what we do. We enter Dark Cave, and boom. Shiny Dunsparce. After catching, we check, and it is a hardy nature and has Serene Grace. However, we're not done. We don't know for sure it's a 3-segment until it's in Scarlet and Violet. We use the Poketransfer Lab to bring Dunsparce to Gen 5. This minigame is both so fun and so tedious in this process. Next up is the biggest obstacle in the challenge. My slow Wi-Fi. It takes 10 minutes just to connect the Poke Transporter and get Dunsparce off Pokemon White and into Pokemon Bank. Finally, we transfer from Pokemon Bank to Pokemon Home, move it into Scarlet and Violet, teach it Hyper Drill, and how do we do this? It's simple. By knowing when to press A. By understanding how the RNG works in the game, you can press A at the right time to get a desired result. It doesn't use any cheats, hacks, glitches, just a fancy timer and all of the game's data. It uses the game's data in a similar way to looking up what route you catch a Pokemon on, or what level a Pokemon learns a specific move, or how to evolve this stupid mask. This is not a guide on how to use RNG in this way. If you want one of those, I would highly recommend I'm a Blissy's channel. They are the undisputed GOAT of RNG, and they have a lot of really great guides. We took 2 minutes to determine how long to set our timer for, listen to the soothing oohs and ahs of Chatot, and we literally get the exact Dunsparce we're looking for on the first attempt. If it weren't have been for my slow Wi-Fi, this would have been a 19-minute hunt. Now let's say for a second you don't want to use the RNG in this way. Gen 4 is still probably the fastest way to get a non-shiny 3-segment Dudunsparce, assuming you have the absolutely insane amount of old systems and games you need to get it up to Scarlet and Violet. You can breed for a Serene Grace, hardy Dunsparce and transfer it up relatively easily.
Dudunsparce.
Dudunsparce is such a great evolution to Dunsparce. It brings me joy. And I'm happy that they found a way to give it an evolution that didn't alter what Dunsparce was at its core. Just kind of a weird little snake guy. Now, just for fun, here is a shiny 3-segment Dudunsparce from Pokemon Coliseum. Dudunsparce the Triumphant. This was Vicarious. Thank you for watching.